Narwhal versus, wait.
Velocity JanJan.
That's the first time I've seen a Velocity's tag on a LAN stream besides Brian.
Yeah, I don't know who JanJan is.
I don't either.
I've never heard of JanJan.
But if he's on Velocity, there's got to be a spicy Teros, because that's basically all I've ever seen come out of Velocity. And there it is. Teros is coming up now against the Barbara, which is the Bryn epic skin. So it's got some very fancy signature effects, but it is definitely Bryn.
Right off the bat, Narwhal's axe in, much cleaner than JanJan's. JanJan coming in, and Narwhal catching it with the end sig right there. Just chill. Goes for the slide down sig. The washing cycle nearly coming through, nearly wiping away JanJan, but JanJan does avoid it.
JanJan taking a bunch of damage towards the end of this match. Now, sidestick comes out, does not quite connect. The weapon toss interrupting the signatures that Narwhal is trying to throw out to be able to get this finisher, and JanJan's kind of like, well, I like the idea. The sidestick for Bryn pulls back a little bit before going forward. I think he was trying to interrupt whatever signature Narwhal was going to go for with a sidelight, but it just was properly spaced by Narwhal so that Narwhal could get a ton of damage. And that ground pound combo coming out from the axe stops the approach of the neutral light into a weapon toss, but JanJan already taking a ton of damage here. A nice another neutral light, throws the weapon straight up to be able to force Narwhal to recover high, but doesn't get punished with a neutral sig, catching and spiking Narwhal. That's like the signature move of Teros. I mean, yes, it is. Oh, jeez,
nice
JanJan going in.
Narwhal over into the spear pickup. Gonna go in for the end light, gets caught out by JanJan. There's the down light side air. Goes for the double, but JanJan has none of it, but follows it through with the down air. Does push JanJan down. Narwhal hanging back here, looking at the engagement, hangs back, gets caught up by the weapon toss, goes in for the down light, but not gonna hit. JanJan punishes with the neutral light, unarmed, neutral light, unarmed. Side air coming out from Narwhal.
Neutral sig barely lands onto the stage there, but gets punished by Narwhal regardless. Narwhal throwing that axe towards the side, trying to be able to get something, a nice delay recovery. Not going to kill on Teros, considering the extra little bit of defense that he has. Not as tanky as Roland, perhaps, but Falling Stare, this is the first little bit of hammer that we've seen for a while, and he immediately throws it away, just waiting for the axe coming out. Falling Stare dodges through the weapon toss, but he has no dodge. The Stare finishes it. Excellent edge guard coming out from Narwhal.
Here we go, Narwhal switching out the weapons, priming an axe after the spear, but choosing the spear right now, and I think that's a good choice. Narwhal has done a great job with the spear. Does not get KO'd by that. Side air is not going to get the KO either. Should be able to recover depending on how the edge guard goes. Woo! Sees the recovery coming a mile away. Holds his movement, holds his momentum, comes back. Weapon toss nearly KOs Narwhal with that. Weapon toss off, ground pound, and that's
the ground pound. Edge guards for both players here are looking very nice. And JanJan's managed to make this even. Narwhal was definitely looking like he was in control, but JanJan's had this clutch factor that's kept it very close the entire match.
Narwhal going down, doing some good work unarmed, allows himself to get the axe. Hangs down, hits that down air, gets caught up by the side air from JanJan. Down light, neutral air.
Oh, trying to find these neutral lights. He's been putting out a lot of neutral lights with the axe to catch Narwhal's landings, but he hasn't been getting the same level of strings that Narwhal has gotten. And so Narwhal is very ahead in damage. Side air sends him flying. Ooh, waits him all the way up. I would have liked to see a rising ground pound to be able to cover that dodge in. Down stick comes out, and JanJan runs through the particle effects at the very end, doesn't manage to get hit by it, and now Nairs are coming out. JanJan's so heavily damaged, it's looking like it's going to be Narwhal's game, but if he can get something, ground pound doesn't have enough, has to use all of his jumps and his recovery, and he still can't make it back. That hammer recovery not giving as much distance, as much horizontal movement as he needs to be able to make it back, and Narwhal definitely takes game number 1.
I mean, that was very close though. When you look at it, I could have gone either way. And JanJan was holding his own.
I will say that Narwhal had the momentum, like he had it, he advanced the entire time. He was always taking the first stock, so that's a big deal to consider. But JanJan has the ability to make those comebacks, but a lot of those comebacks were made off of clutch factor moves. Like, I don't expect to see a Teros neutral sig.
Side eye right there?
Yeah, I don't expect to see a Teros neutral sig kill more than once or twice in a game. And I mean like I guess like a set. But we'll see. Maybe he'll be able to surprise us. He does have Thunderguard Stadium, which allows for more shenanigans, especially with the hammer. Dip down recovery, being able to do that dip down gravity cancel neutral sig to be able to catch people above you. Already we see JanJan going down there and trying to get Narwhal to go above onto that bridge so that he can punish him with some moves that he normally wouldn't be able to use on other stages. Nice falling Sarah. Weapon toss forces the dodge out, but the neutral sig, like I said, unlikely we're going to be able to see that same tactic work twice.
Yeah, JanJan coming back here, going to go for the weapon guard. Does get the weapon starve right there into the hammer pickup. Narwhal unfazed, going for the unarmed plays, coming here, picks up the axe into that side air immediately. JanJan is waiting there. Weapon throw into down air with the weapon throw follow. JanJan loses his first stock. Beautiful play out from Narwhal.
And Narwhal showing that momentum he had in game 1 was definitely no mistake. JanJan was able to return a few attacks off stage. Neutral stick comes out, but every time he's putting that out, I just feel like he's putting himself in a, wow, that was crazy. Narwhal ducked underneath JanJan's signature with his own signature to travel under the stage. Manages to make it unscathed. And now Janus is using that lower stage platform to get those recoveries, trying to go for nairs or side airs. But surprisingly, Narwhal is side airing him while he's underneath the stage.
Big scoop. JanJan looking for some ice cream right now. Not quite going to get it. Weapon throw as Narwhal comes down here. Recovery up. Gets the scoop. That should kill, but it doesn't. Weapon throw. Baits out the dodge into the downlight, into the side air. Goes to grab to cancel downlight, but JanJan was not there. Beautiful positioning from Narwhal. Does avoid that side air. Weapon toss down from JanJan. JanJan goes in for the side heavy. Not going to connect.
And now JanJan going for a high recovery. Good D-light into ground pound. The dare does not connect to that uppercut from beneath the stage, killing off the top, showing how damaged Narwhal was, and why I was surprised that the downer didn't actually kill off the top earlier. Jan, however, very damaged here on Taros. Narwhal has an opportunity to be able to close with the stock. He hasn't been using too many SIGs as they haven't been working, but a side SIG would definitely do it. Now a lot more than a side SIG would do it after that Nair connects.
Up above, JanJan gets a nice neutral light, unarmed. Goes in, downlight. Ah, the spot dodges out of those ground pounds. Every time, JanJan's been nailing those.
Ooh, that ground pound goes down. Wow, JanJan went really low. Fully charged weapon toss straight in the face of JanJan. Doesn't do too much damage, but it makes a statement. Weapon toss comes out, and Nair's coming out. JanJan's making this very even. Narwhal hasn't been able to get this KO, and it doesn't matter how much of a damage lead you have if you're not KOing the stocks. And
great dodge.
Dodges through, picks up another weapon, finds the axe. No down air. Oh, that side air put him in prime position to get hit by that D-light. Caught him right out of the air, leads to the side air. Spears auto combo in a sense. And JanJan loses out that stock finally, but only after putting Narwhal into orange.
JanJan coming down into that weapon pickup. Hanging out here on the left side. Narwhal moving through. Going to want to go ahead and pick up that weapon. Does get it. Spear pick up into Enlight. Immediately into a second one. With the weapon toss down. Unarmed. Gets caught up by Janus's recovery. JanJan moving back. Goes in for the N-Sig. Nice down loud. Ground pound out from Narwhal. Doing some more good damage. Building up that damage. Narwhal with the stock lead at the moment. Has the axe. Throws the axe. Does get that bounce. Down air. No! Grab the cancel down like ground pound.
That'll do it.
And that'll do it.
The little dodge to show like, wait, where was my dodge again? Oh, that's where it was. And then he falls to his death.
Everyone's been there where you're not sure and you're like, ah, and then it happens.
But that's about what we